The moment you enter a room, the atmosphere shifts. People feel something, but they can't explain it. You haven't said a word, and yet every eye slowly turns toward you. That's not ego. That's not coincidence. That's your aura announcing your presence before your mouth ever opens. Chosen one, you are spiritually activated. And whether people admit it or not, your energy confronts the spirit in them. Your aura is not decoration, it's detection. It reveals what's hidden. It disturbs darkness. It irritates impure intentions. That's why people act strange around you. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because you carry something real in a world full of fake. And real. Real shakes things up. You were wondering why that one friend started distancing themselves, why coworkers act awkward around you, why strangers stare, hesitate, or even avoid eye contact. It's spiritual. It's not about your looks, your style, or your success. It's about the frequency you vibrate on. Your soul is loud in silence. Your energy speaks truth, and truth makes hidden things uncomfortable. The chosen ones walk into spaces and shift atmospheres, not because they try, but because of who they are. When you walk in, masks fall off. Spirits are exposed. You may not even realize it, but people feel convicted just being near you. Your calm is a mirror. Your peace is pressure. Your light forces hidden darkness into the open. That's why people sometimes treat you with random hostility. Why they gossip behind your back. Why they assume you're arrogant without knowing your heart. It's not you. It's the spirit in them reacting to the spirit in you. Your presence awakens what they've suppressed. You shine light into their shadows, and they either choose to confront it or to blame you for exposing it. Your aura doesn't need words to reveal truth. It's a silent detector, a divine warning system. The ones with clean hearts, they feel comforted around you, safe, seen, but the ones hiding deception, they feel uneasy, defensive. They can't even explain it. They just know something and you see something in them, and they're not ready for that kind of exposure. This is why you don't need to argue to defend your spirit. You don't have to prove anything. The energy you carry does the work. You've been anointed with divine light, and light doesn't negotiate with darkness. It just shines. You were chosen to carry a presence that stirs what's dormant and reveals what's hidden. That's not easy. That's why your journey has been so intense, why you've been through the fire, because you had to be refined before you could carry the level of purity you now hold. You were being prepared to carry a frequency most people can't handle. You've probably noticed that people either love you deeply or resent you quietly. There's rarely an in-between. That's because your spirit pulls realness out of people. It forces them to decide, will they rise with you, or will they retreat from the truth you're embodying? You don't just walk in the room. You pierce it. You walk in alignment. That's why even your silence is loud. Why people get nervous when you're too quiet. It's not that you're judging them. It's that your very existence is a reminder of the version of themselves they keep running from. You've also noticed how quickly you pick up on people's intentions. You can sense when something's off. You feel the energy shift before words are even spoken. That's not paranoia. That's spiritual discernment. God gave you that to protect the anointing you carry. Because not everyone smiling at you is sent to support you. Sometimes you get drained just being around certain people, not because you're weak, but because you're absorbing spiritual tension. Your aura is a filter. It attracts the real and repels the fake. It comforts the humble and agitates the prideful. That's why your circle is small. That's why your path is narrow. You weren't created to fit in. You were created to cleanse the room by simply showing up. And when you show up, hidden forces start to panic. Manipulators lose control. Liars lose power. Pretenders lose the stage. Because you carry what can't be faked, authenticity. You may feel isolated sometimes, even around people. That's because your soul is operating on a different level. You don't vibe with gossip, games, or ego-driven talk. You crave truth, depth, peace, and when those around you can't match that frequency, they either try to pull you down or they silently walk away. Let them. You're not here to blend in. You're here to bless and break. Bless those aligned with you. Break every dark assignment around you. You don't even have to touch it. Just walk in the room. Just breathe in alignment. That's enough to confuse demonic plans. Enough to shake fake foundations. That's why you've been misunderstood. Why some people don't like you, even though they don't know you. It's not you. They're reacting to what's on you. Your aura carries light codes, activation keys, energetic authority. And when those around you haven't done the work to face themselves, they feel threatened by someone who has. Chosen one, you've been sent into environments as a divine alarm clock. Your presence wakes people up, and not everyone wants to be awakened. Some would rather sleep in dysfunction than wake up to transformation. That's why spiritual warfare follows you. Why you feel resistance in places where others feel at home. Because you're not just a person. You're a portal. And portals don't go unnoticed. They get guarded, attacked, studied, but still, they shine. So if you've been wondering why you feel tension in certain rooms, why people act funny when you're around, why you're constantly being observed, judged, or drained, it's because your aura is doing what it was designed to do. Reveal what's real. And real always threatens what's hidden. So what happens when your aura exposes the room? Some spirits flee, some stay quiet, and some retaliate, but not with fists, with energy. Passive comments, subtle shade, fake support, sudden distance, silent competition. This is spiritual warfare in disguise. And because you carry light, you become a mirror. People don't just see you, they see themselves in you. And if they're not ready for truth, they'll label you the problem. But don't shrink to make them comfortable. Don't dim your light to avoid conflict. You didn't go through all your pain and process just to disappear in the background. God didn't anoint you for shadows. He anointed you to stand in the open and expose what's been hiding. You ever notice how after meeting you, people either get better or they get bitter? That's because your energy is activating. You stir up what's dormant. You wake people up to their own choices. And for some, that's healing. For others, that's offensive, because they'd rather stay broken than be seen. You didn't ask to be the light, but you are. You didn't beg for the assignment, but you were chosen. And now, everything around you is spiritual. You're not just living, you're operating. You're not just walking, you're radiating. That glow isn't aesthetic, it's sacred. And that sacredness, it exposes every counterfeit. People can no longer pretend around you. They can't wear the mask comfortably anymore. Their intentions come to the surface. Their lies get shaky. Their ego feels unsafe. Because your light breaks illusions. Even demons recognize light. That's why you get strange looks from people you've never met. That's why people gossip about you without knowing your story. That's why you walk into spaces and immediately feel energy shift. Because your soul entered before your body did. You've likely experienced random hostility. People just don't like you, without reason. Don't take it personal. That's the darkness in them flinching at the authority in you. That's the fake in them trembling in the presence of truth. You don't even have to speak to make impact. Just being you is warfare. Just showing up aligned is disruptive to their dysfunction. And still, you remain kind. You remain calm. You remain centered. That's power. The devil doesn't attack empty vessels. He goes after the ones carrying light. And your aura, it's glowing with purpose. That's why you've been tested so much. That's why the betrayal was deep. That's why you've walked through so much rejection, misunderstanding, and isolation. Because what you carry exposes what others hide. And here's what they didn't realize. Every time they tried to dim your light, it only got brighter. Every storm made your discernment sharper. Every betrayal made your spirit stronger. Every delay deepened your alignment. And now, you're untouchable, not because of ego, but because of assignment. You don't even have to fight. Your aura is your weapon. Your energy is your armor. And your silence, that's divine strategy. Because not everything deserves your reaction. Sometimes your glow is loud enough. Let them get uncomfortable. Let the room shift. You weren't made to adapt to darkness. You were made to cast it out. And sometimes, the only thing that needs to show up is you. Not your words, not your defense. Just your truth, just your vibration, just your presence. They feel it. Even when they deny it, they feel it. That's why they mimic you. That's why they study your every move. That's why they try to copy your light, your voice, your path. But it never works. Because what's divine can't be duplicated. You weren't manufactured. You were molded. And your molding came through pressure, through fire, through being left out, left behind, and overlooked. But you never broke. You became a vessel. And that vessel now holds oil that cannot be touched by unclean hands.